This podcast is part of the Pull Up a Chair podcast network. Let's build community through connection, conversation, and collaboration. This podcast is sponsored by Lever Consulting, editing with a purpose. Check them out at leverconsulting.com for a free consultation.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm V.
And you're listening to Cringe With Me, the podcast where we dig up the cringiest articles, questions, and tidbits of human culture to review with you, our listeners, so you too can cringe with me.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible.
All right, guys, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan says that there's a theme. Ooh, what's the theme?
Well, I know my last two have been mother-in-law situations.
Yes, they have. Am I getting another one?
Yeah, well, this one's another mother one, but this is more from the perspective of, well, let's just say, you know how you had these claims of incest and awkward mother-son relationships?
Oh, no. Those are supposed to be jokes.
This one's on that theme. I'm not saying that. Don't worry, we're not getting into the realm of incest or actual mother-son relations. We're getting into the realm of that same theme of awkward relationships between mother and son. But this is from the perspective of the son.
Oh, I love it. I love getting his point of view.
Also, I'm going to spoil this one a little bit. There's an update, and it's going to take a turn. So just be ready for that.
Oh, I love it.
Okay?
Okay, give me the tea. Give me the tea.
So this is once again from Am I the Asshole? One of my favorites. The title, Am I the Asshole? For going off on my wife after she made a sex sign to keep my mom from knocking on our bedroom door.
Oh my god.
Yep. Just drink that one in real quick.
She made a sex sign warning her mother-in-law not to knock on the door. Did I hear that right?
That's correct. Also, from the update's a separate post, but I'm going to pull one piece of information for that because I think it helps.
Okay.
Ages, right? This was not in the original post. So he is 26 and his wife is 25. So mid-20s.
So they're adults at that point.
And they've been married for 4 years.
Okay. So a long relationship.
Yeah. They got married when they were like 21, 22.
Okay.
So I've been married to my wife for 4 years. We have a medium-sized apartment. For the last 2 months, my mother has been staying in our guest room.
Okay.
My dad recently passed away, and it's hard for her to live in their house alone, so I've been letting her stay with us.
That's nice.
Sure. Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
My wife and her have never particularly got along, but I'd expected her to understand why it's important to me that she overlooked this just for a little while. I mean, she lost her husband of 40 years. She's fragile, and I really want to be able to do what I can to make her feel better. So far, seems reasonable, right? My mom's presence has changed our routine a little bit, mainly our nighttime routine.
Ooh.
She'll usually come knock on our door to talk. My wife hates this, particularly because it interrupts our intimacy. Usually when she's over, we just don't make love.
Okay.
Okay?
And she's over a lot, it sounds like.
So the mom is frequently over, and mom is interrupting sexy time by late at night knocking on their door to talk to them. So this past week, I noticed my mom wasn't coming in at night. So we had our normal nighttime habits.
Yeah.
You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know what I mean? Yesterday, mom pulled me aside and told me that the sign I let my wife put on the door at night was disgusting and not something she ever needed to know.
You didn't even know.
You didn't know.
Oh my god.
She also said that she was very hurt and that I don't want to speak. Oh my god, sorry. The sentence is so awkwardly written. This person, I'm going to read it as it's written. Read between the lines. She also said that she was very hurt that I don't want to speak to her since I'm all she has left now. So I think what he's saying is she said she was hurt that they don't want to talk to her. Yeah. She's been going to talk to them at night and they put a sign out to keep her from talking to them at night, right? I told her I had no idea what she was talking about. She said the sign about sex. I still had no idea and talked to my wife about it when she got home. She admitted to it. She said that she made a sign to keep my mom out of our hair at nights. On the sign was written, Please do not disturb unless you want to see me fucking your son.
Oh my god, that's how it was phrased?
Yes, that is in quotations. That is the wording of the sign.
Oh my god.
So wife is pissed she's not getting sexy time, puts the sign on the door to keep mom from knocking on their door at night so they can actually have some intimacy. She thought it was funny, and was necessary. But I was mad about it. I took the sign, crumpled it up, and tossed it in the garbage. I then went off on my wife about how inappropriate and embarrassing this was.
Oh my god.
She told me it's my fault that we needed this, and it's just a joke. I slept on the couch last night, and she's still pissed at me. Am I the asshole?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Right?
That is so funny.
This is an interesting situation, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, my dad passed away. Mom has been staying with us frequently.
Yeah.
But mom has developed a habit of coming to bother us specifically late at night when we're trying to go to bed. And that's when we normally have our intimacy time. So, oh man, like, she's interrupting this intimacy time. My wife's getting pretty, I think, reasonably upset about that, right? Like, that makes sense.
She wants to get it on, man.
I mean, yeah, you're married, you're in your 20s. I can see that this is a disruption to your routine. If this is something that this is a normal thing that you share, this kind of intimacy, right? But I also get from the argument of, like, the mom is in a difficult situation right now, and she, in this case, the son/husband is like, hey, I'm trying to support her, and that was a very rude way to go about this.
I find the sign incredibly funny, but there's a time and place for jokes like that.
Yeah, I think the sign is funny. I also think it's probably inappropriate.
Yeah.
But I think it also depends on the context, right? Some families very openly talk about sex and some do not.
Yes.
In my family, this sign would have just been thought of as funny, right? No one in my family would have been like, oh, that's inappropriate and terrible. They'd be like, funny. Like, okay. But for a lot of families, this would not be appropriate.
Obviously, it wasn't appropriate for this one because the mother's like, I didn't need to know that you have sex.
Well, and that's one of the things that I thought was very funny is like, that's something that she never needed to know. I'm like, your son is married, has been married 4 years, and you don't think they're having sex?
That's that weird, like, American puritanical roots showing through.
Yeah, it's something. Because even Americans, typically when there's marriage, people are assuming that, right?
Yeah. Well, see, God, this, like, harkens back to the episode where we, like, went in deep about culture and how weird it is that sex is a taboo unless the woman is currently pregnant, and then you can make jokes like that.
Yeah, it's very weird, right?
Yeah.
So, this is an interesting situation. Do you think that this guy is the asshole?
I mean, I think he could have handled telling his wife that it was inappropriate a little better. She also, I think, is to blame for this situation as well. I think the only person that's actually blameless here is the mother-in-law, because she didn't know that it was being that disruptive. She's grieving. She, up to that point, has been entertained.
Sure. I'm going to say that I was probably on the same boat as you.
Okay.
I'm going to warn you. The mother that you thought was blameless may not be blameless.
Oh no, it's gonna get turned.
Yeah, this is what the update.
Okay.
So, it gets interesting. First, I sat down with my mother and tried to get to the root of the issue. I have a pet peeve against this writer. In addition to the other sentences that were kind of messed up and were poorly written, he uses root like a driving route, not root like R-O-O-T, the root of the problem.
I'd probably do that.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm a bad writer.
It's a pet peeve of mine when people use the wrong spellings of things. It's just the problem is you use it like several times.
So you have to suffer with it.
Yes.
She
told me that she's been doing this and that she's been so lonely that she wants to feel connected to her only flesh and blood she has left.
Yes.
So she told me that she's been doing this. What has she been doing? This made me really feel for her, so I went to my wife to apologize and try to negotiate something. My wife, however, told me that she doesn't want my mom living here anymore. I tried to see if she could just stay here one more weekend, but she rejected.
Wait. She's been doing this as in coming to hang out with them in the afternoon, or... Yeah,
so it sounds like maybe she admitted that she has been bugging them in the evenings because she wants to feel connected.
Yeah.
Night, right, okay? Sure.
Yeah, okay.
He goes to the wife and says, hey, I really would like you to apologize to her and I'd like to negotiate something. Wife says, no, I don't want her living here. I'm done with this, right?
That feels like a really big overreaction on the wife's end.
Okay. But
Oh, God.
there's context.
There's context. Okay.
Me and my wife sat her down, and I told her that we felt like we needed more privacy from her so that we could ask her to leave for the time being, right?
Okay.
So he's saying, okay, I hear you, wife. Well, sit down and talk. So sits down and talks to mom. This is what they're talking about. This set my mom off. She started crying and accusing my wife of trying to, her words, break us up.
No!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
No!
I felt bad, like awful. I tried just talking to her, and I wanted to get to the root of why she felt like she needed to be here.
The tree root.
Yes. Well, no, it's the wrong root again.
Oh.
She said that now I'm her only flesh and blood alive, and if my wife keeps me wrapped around her finger with sex, I'll forget all about her, so she was trying to interrupt that.
She knew that they were having sex.
Not only did she know, she was purposely bugging them at night to prevent them from having sex because she thought that's what the wife was using to keep the husband, her son, away from her.
Oh, I'm scarred for life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scarred.
I'm trying to interrupt your sexy time because sex is the way your wife manipulates you and keeps you away from me.
But, like, the wife wasn't wanting to kick her out until this point.
Right.
Oh, God, what more?
She also was worried that if I get my wife pregnant, I'll be too busy with her to see her again, and I'll be stuck with my wife when I could do so much better.
She said something to the wife. The wife knows that she feels this way.
Yeah. So not only is mom trying to interrupt sex, she's specifically trying to interrupt that they don't get pregnant.
Wouldn't
She's
she
like, I need to interrupt all of the sex.
Wouldn't she, like, want a grandkids if she has, like, more familial connections?
Not if she thinks that I'll be stuck with my wife and I could do so much better. This made my wife very upset. Understandable.
Oh, yeah.
And I told my mom that I think she needed to leave then. The crying turned into full-on bawling and yelling at my wife. Eventually I was able to get her out. I told her that I don't think it's best that we speak until she gets her over her issues with my wife. Pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Now looking at this, I feel awful. I had a presences who actively wanted my wife gone and didn't want us to be intimate or have couple time.
Wait, president?
Yeah, I don't know what they were trying to write there.
A parent? President?
I don't know.
Okay,
And to top it off, I argued with my wife and she wanted to remove said presents. So I guess the mom is the presence.
Okay. She had a presence. And
So I had a presence who basically is saying, I had my mom here who actively wanted my wife gone and didn't want us to be intimate or to have couple time. And to top it off, I argued with my wife when she wanted to remove that presence. So he's feeling bad because he's like, wow, I thought that my wife was being rude and cruel to my mom, and I thought that this was just a thing. Turns out my mom was actually maliciously trying to stop this. Now I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I won't be contacting my mother until she apologizes and my wife accepts it. And I don't think she'll be staying over any time in the near future. I will also be spoiling my wife rotten until I can make this up to her.
I wish that the couple talked to each other earlier.
Well, I'm not sure that the wife actually knew. I think the wife suspected or felt put upon.
You think so?
Which I think the wife was actually trying to be reasonable by saying, all right, this is okay, she can be here, but like we need to set some boundaries. Because that's ultimately what the wife said. She didn't say kick her out. She said, let's set some boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries would have been if that conversation happened earlier. But then they wouldn't find out that the mother...
Well, I think them trying to set the boundaries is what caused the conversation.
But if they set the boundaries earlier, they wouldn't have had the fight about the really funny but slightly inappropriate in this context sign.
That's true. I just like that this guy, I think, reasonably believed, like, wow, I'm trying to support my mom, and I don't know why you're being so nice. And then getting the information is like, well, that took a turn. Turns out my mom is terrible and creepy, and I need to distance myself from that. And I'm sorry, wifey. I definitely misunderstood the situation.
Yep.
To be fair, I don't think the wife knew.
No. But how could you assume that it's actually that bad? Who would assume?
I wouldn't. I didn't think that I didn't think anyone would ever admit to this, right? Like, I believe people have felt this. I can't believe she actually said it in front of the wife, too. Like, oh, you could do better, and I want to interrupt your sex because I don't want you to have sex with her because she uses sex to manipulate you, and I don't want you to have a baby because then you won't spend time with me anymore. Like, holy shit, that is wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started off the month with you winning, I see.
I mean, I am hoping / expecting to win this month. I cannot think of anything more cringe than mom saying, I need you to not have sex because you can do better and I don't want you to ignore me. So I'm going to interrupt your sexy time by coming into your room at night to talk to you. Wow. Just wow.
Yep. Oh my god. Well, guys, I'm going to go cringe in my closet, and I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, well, I'm Ryan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Build Right Roll, where I post about my professional Dungeon Master experiences. You can check out the links in the description if you're interested in hiring a professional DM or looking to level up your own DM skills.
And you can find me, V, at I'm Cringe Queen at Instagram and Twitter, or check me out on YouTube as the Queen of Cringe, and be embarrassed with me.
All right, well, thanks for listening and cringing along with us.
And we'll catch you next time with more awesome cringe content.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible. Only one way to know. Only one way to know.
Hello, I am Patrick,
And I'm Andrew. And I'm Christian.
And I'm Allie.
and we are Rad Theater, a podcast where a bunch of friends play role-playing games and share a single brain cell, and the GM doesn't always have it. Oh, and it's theater spelled the correct way, Theatre.